Sally Mitchell, listening to that mortgage advisor, specifically on the mortgages, Sally. It must be pretty gloomy for a lot of your clients.
It is, yes, it's fair to say. I mean, we're not in any new situation. This has been going on for, oh, crikey, it feels like years. But of course, there are a lot more people in 2025 coming off their 5-year fixes that they secured at such good low rates. And so it's another wave of people who are facing this shock. They're going to have to find another few £100 a month in many cases.
And so when we talk about people who fixed rates 5 years ago, we are in 2020, and that's COVID. But so I just always remember that the last day of normal life was March the 23rd. 2020.
Yes.
Is that what happened then, that we suddenly got interest rates being slashed to try and save the economy?
Yes, I mean, it was a much, much easier market to get a mortgage in then. Affordability was easier, it was much lower rates, and people have enjoyed it for a very long time. And now it's time to sort of face the future, and it's not going to change. Having this cut of 0.25% yesterday is not going to translate into lower fixed rates immediately. The rates at the moment on the market, they've had this rate cut already factored in, so they're not going to change. The only short-term winners are people who are on tracker products, and there are a lot of people, there's about 600,000 on tracker products, and they will see their monthly payments go down pretty much immediately. And the other slight glimmer of hope is that a lot of lenders will change their standard variable rates to reflect that cut as well. And that, in turn, will affect affordability. So if you are struggling to get on the housing ladder or wanting to make that next move, it might be that something that was fairly unaffordable beforehand is now going to be more reachable. So that's good.
If you're Gen Z, you must be tearing your hair out, because back in the day, we would have every 20 years a massive housing crash. We had one in 77, we had one in 89, and then we got into the financial crisis under the Brown-Blair government, and they decided to avert a housing crash by pumping cheap money into the economy. And it turns out, I mean, that may or may not be good policy, I can't comment, but it does stop a housing crash, but it also means that you have a lot of inflation and young people never buy a house.
No, that's certainly the experience. I mean, the average age of a first-time buyer is now, early 30s.
And in London, I gather 41?
Yes, it can be as high as that. And most of those people are relying on the bank of mum and dad to help with gifted deposits, because the rental market is so expensive that no one can possibly save any money for a decent deposit. And with the stress on affordability as well, you do need to be earning very, very well. And in the southeast particularly, it's much harder.
But more broadly, right, we head around the country and we find pockets where I'm thinking, northeast places around the coast, north of Blackpool, down by Cornwall, where the whole thing has gone Airbnb suddenly. So you can book a holiday let, no problem. You cannot, as a young family, rent somewhere to live.
No, that's absolutely right. The housing stock is really, really poor, especially in those areas. But I think the idea behind this, reducing the base rate, is to boost the economy. If we can get some confidence going, if we can boost investment, if we can increase consumer spending, it will boost up the economy and things will get better. And of course, with those ambitious house building targets, the lower borrowing costs should be a positive thing for the house builders who need financing. And then hopefully that will increase stock, and then people will be able to move on to the ladder and start the cycle properly.
If I was 25 years old, so if I was Gen Z, would it be acceptable, Sally, for me to get on my knees every night and pray for a housing crash?
No, we never want to pray for a housing crash. It affects far too many people negatively. What we need is investment in affordable housing. We need innovation in the mortgage industry from the lenders to help people get on the ladder.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend, Sally.
You too.
Sally Mitchell, mortgage advisor.